Ooh. Ooh, that's a big fella. All right, let's get ready to. Oh.
I understand you've been looking.
Oh.
Come then. Show me Elune's wrath.
Elune gave me her strength. The wrath is mine alone.
Ooh. Here we go. Been waiting a long time for this.
Night warrior.
Oh.
I expected more.
I will take your head, Banshee.
Woo.
Just like I took his. You didn't know. Your master is keeping secrets from you.
Oh.
A trick.
Hee.
Elune, it is time. Inqua Melema.
Ah. Don't kill Tyrande. Come on, please.
At last.
And yet, the night's power wanes. Once
Oh.
again, she denies you victory.
Mother Moon, do not forsake me. End this.
Oh. Yes, Ysera.
Bask in the dying embers of your goddess's bargain, Tyrande.
Ooh.
Nothing lasts.
Tyrande, can you hear me? Tyrande?
Ah. My heart is just like boom, 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 boom. That's a lot to unpack in just that little cinematic. Oh man. I think I'm going to watch that again by itself and do like a deeper dive into it, because there's a lot of stuff in that I want to not only touch upon, but stuff I want to see back again. But man, can we just give props to the voice acting? When she said the wrath is mine, like the voice changed. And then Sylvanas is still the cocky, just I didn't think we'd have the showdown with Tyrande Sylvanas until the raid, and then dropping the bomb about Nathanos. There's so much. But I think I'm going to watch this back and then just go into it more in depth on the on the YouTube channel, my main one, not the archive channel. Oh man, it was just like an adrenaline rush. Whew. This is why I play the game. The lore is so good. But we'll cover that when I go into more of a deeper dive with it. Okay, so that was yesterday. I've been waiting for that cinematic. I've been waiting for that moment for what, 2 years now? Tyrande versus Sylvanas. Little backstory. Sylvanas used to be my favorite character in Warcraft. I thought she was just this confident, cocky badass. I loved her backstory, how she became the Banshee Queen. She was just like this cool anti-hero. And when she was made War Chief, I was all for it. I just thought there's so much potential here with her at the helm that I'm all in. And then yeah. Side note, sorry if you're hearing any traffic or noise. It's the birthday of America, so it's gonna be loud. And I live right next to a gas station and loud people and fireworks, but yeah, that's not the point. So since yesterday, I've had the chance to watch this back a few times. It is chock full of so many little things. So I want to take a little more in-depth look, a deeper dive into the cinematic. Because initially there's a lot there was a lot going on and just pow, 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 right in the kisser. But watching it more, not only is there stuff on the surface, but there's just little tidbits in there that I want to touch on or talk about. So let's go ahead and get into the Battle of Ardenweald, Sylvanas versus Tyrande cinematic, and have a little chat about what's going on. At this point, I'm like, uh-oh. They're like, uh-oh. That is an awesome shot. Freaking Tyrande is not only about ready to confront Sylvanas, which has been doing since the beginning of the expansion, like 150 years ago. But now, she found her way out of the mall. But I think this is significant because Tyrande is now out. And yeah, so this was a really awesome moment. And I was just like, oh, when I saw it. Tyrande became my new favorite. I love me a badass lady. I do. She's so cocky. She's so cocky. I know a lot of people don't like her. Like I don't like her. Like her committing mass genocide and burning the tree down. It was an awful moment. I've said before in other videos, it was probably the worst time I've ever had lore-wise, being Horde. Yeah, you can't defend that. I couldn't defend it. And I've went in depth before about it, but I didn't enjoy it. I'm still not happy about it. Awesome line. Awesome line. But there's a lot there to think about, especially with how things played out in the end of the cinematic. What I like about this is Tyrande's going for like kill strikes every time. Like every swing is a kill, it's like a kill strike. And then boom, knocks Sylvanas way back there. She says that the exact same way that Nathanos did, and it's cool to see her use the chains that she used against Bolvar at the beginning of the expansion. That is the best line in the entire cinematic for me, because there's so much going on here. You have Tyrande, who broke the chains, essentially just shrugs off the chains, which I don't think we've seen done before with the power of a loon. And then she drops the bomb onto Sylvanas about Nathanos, and it's been established Sylvanas and Nathanos are kind of a thing. And Nathanos even said before Tyrande killed him that he was going to be reunited with her in death anyway, because he would go to the mall. And if the jailer is funneling all the souls, which he has been for a while now, to go straight to the mall, where's he at? She doesn't know. Exactly. I thought we were seeing a turn with Sylvanas when she saw Anduin, and then when Anduin was delivering the sigil he took from Bastion, just the look in her eyes, just almost regret. To me, that was the first seed planted. This, though, has to be... This is going to be big. Because not only did Sylvanas not know, but why? Why would the jailer keep it from her? Is Nathanos hiding? Did he find a way to get to the mall and then escape? But if he did, then why would he not go to find Sylvanas immediately? My guess is that the jailer has him and is going to use him as leverage. But the fact that we've seen with Denathrius, that once the jailer is done with you, you serve no more purpose. So right now, Sylvanas is being used in this cinematic as bait for the real purpose of taking the sigil from Ardenweald. How much purpose is Sylvanas going to have going forward? And if the jailer has Nathanos, Sylvanas isn't good. She's not as complex as she used to be, unfortunately. But she's not good with betrayal. Even though she herself is all about that. Just the implications of this moment this is the shockwave moment for me, because this is going to echo through the rest of the expansion as much of it as we get, unless they do another Warlords of Draenor on us and cut it short because they just ran out of time. All right, let's keep going. But just, so much power there. And then right there, Sylvanas has a kill shot. She can take the shot, kill Tyrande right here, and she doesn't. And then she turns into a missile. Sylvanas is like, uh-oh. Boom! Boom! A little amusing. She's trying to choke an undead. But it's been seen in previous cinematics and stuff that you can actually snap the neck of an undead and they'll actually die. So isn't as silly as some people might think it is. It did make me chuckle to myself when I watched it back the first couple times, and I was like, wait a minute, no. It's been established that, yeah. So she could just crunch her neck and by Sylvanas. That line right there is so good, because it just makes you wonder. Elune didn't do anything when the tree burned. Elune is now, again, denying Tyrande the chance to avenge that and all the people that died. And yeah, there's a lot in this where it's like almost like double speak. You get what you get on the surface, but if you dig a little deeper, and I'm probably missing stuff because there's just a lot to unpack. That I thought was interesting just for wordplay. She chose the word forsake, and she is trying to kill a forsaken. I'm not reading too much into that. I just thought it was interesting wording to use in the moment. And Sylvanas is like, nope. This is the doublespeak I was talking about. Bask in the dying embers of your goddess's bargain. On the surface, it looks like it's Tyrande's bargain with Elune, but I think it might be Elune's bargain with someone else. It's me theorizing. I don't know who or why. Who would Elune align with? The jailer? Sylvanas? Why? For what end? For that to be true, then all the stuff that happened, all the stuff that Sylvanas did was on purpose to meet an end that even Elune was okay with, which is why Elune didn't step in to stop it in the first place. Do I think that's what's happening? Not really, but it's something to think about. Above all others in this cinematic, this one, there's a lot more going on here. Nathanos was the biggest seed we've had planted that's going to grow into something important. I assume during the raid battle, because now I assume that we're en route to Sylvanas' redemption arc. Used to love Sylvanas, but it's going to be a hard sell for me. But just interesting that Sylvanas would say this the way she did. She didn't say the dying embers of your bargain, Tyrande, your goddess's bargain. So, like I said, we're supposed to think it's with Tyrande, but I don't know. It feels like there's more there. And then that, to me, is foreshadowing as well. There's a lot of foreshadowing going on. This is Sylvanas essentially signing off. Nothing lasts. Again, we think she's talking about Tyrande and Elune. What if she's not? What if she's already starting to plant because she always looks out for her. Sylvanas always looks out for number one. The entire pact with the jailer, the entire thing is to protect herself. This also has a lot of power to it. And what's really going on here? And then after this, Tyrande's so despondent that Ysara basically puts her to sleep just so she can rest and whatnot. But there's a lot to think about here. We have, Tyrande's been chasing Sylvanas through the mall, been chasing Sylvanas in general for like 2 years now. So it's been like the lore nerd in me has been waiting for 2 years for this confrontation. On the surface, Sylvanas getting away looks like plot armor. And that is fair. Sylvanas is one of the biggest plot armor characters the game has. In this instance, her not dying by Tyrande's hand doesn't bother me as much just because they set so many things in motion for the future. The one person that Sylvanas could actually say she loves that she confides in, that she trusts. Sylvanas trusted Nathanos more than anyone. And then when you find out that the person that you trust, that you love, is dead. And she didn't even seem mad. Like, she's upset. She's going to be upset about it, obviously. But she was just like, Nathanos. Because then you'd expect Sylvanas to go on like a angry, just like retaliation back. She didn't. I mean, that wasn't the plan. The plan was for her to distract everyone long enough to have the sigil taken. Behind the Winter Queen, just standing there doing absolutely nothing from what I saw playing after the thing happened. That's also another weird thing. Elun's power being in the same realm as the Winter Queen. For I recall, they're sisters. That's something else you could really play with if you wanted to. But as I was saying, Sylvanas didn't retaliate. She wasn't meant to, but you would think with hearing that knowledge, her rage and her anger would be more important than the plan that was supposed to be put into play. So I think that's more her realizing that she's being played. And Sylvanas tends to be a smart character as far as plotting and planning and getting what she wants. And you have that character now being played. Possibly, with the puppeteer pulling her strings, how is she going to react? And it's going to be interesting when we go to the raid and go through all of the story to get to that and then get to that final boss and how that plays out, which I have not played yet. Heck, I just found out yesterday that 9.1 was even out. I've been living under the Final Fantasy rock for like the past few weeks. I know. I'm one of them. And then the fact of Elun's power going away, was it because she didn't want to have her power used for that kind of vengeance and anger and wrath? Or was it because that the sigil was taken away? And once the sigil was taken away, like her power kind of went out like a light. Because it kind of coincided. Like when they got the sigil, Elun's power seemed to vanish. So that's another thing to think about. Like what is Elun's motive now? The only person with a clear motive is the jailer. Well, and Jaina and everyone else. Where does Tyrande go from here? She's going to feel betrayed by Elun, but did Elun really betray her? Or was Elun just shut off like a light because of the sigil? Are those connected? Because Elun didn't step in to help hardly at all until Tyrande invoked the Night Warrior. It's something to think about. And then what's Sylvanas' motive going to be now? Because I said, she's a purely selfish character, so it's always been about her. And she's working with someone else who now is using her and keeping stuff from her for a reason. Granted, it was always kind of known that she was being used because, Jailer's using her to get what he wanted. She was using him to get what she wanted. One hand washes the other. But this is a huge thing to keep from her, and the Jailer would know to keep it from her for a reason, if that's what's going on. So there's just so much here that while I'm burnt out on the gameplay of Shadowlands, the lore is just like, it's just that fishing line that just catches me, and it's like, like I don't want to pay Activision anymore for like grindcraft, but I want to know, I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. But we'll see what the future holds for me playing the game. But yeah, there was just so much here that I wanted to just kind of talk it out loud. And there's some stuff like I said, there's some stuff I may have missed. I'm not like king lore guy. I absolutely love the lore. And as I've said probably in this video and many other times, it's the reason I still play the game. And it's the reason that BFA pissed me off so much. Oh my God, I could rant about just the lore. I'm not gonna. So to anyone watching, down in the comments below, did I miss anything? Or was there something going on here that you think is kind of taking shape, taking form? Cool to see Ysera. That was freaking awesome. If I recall correctly, Tyrande couldn't save Ysera, I think in Legion. I think it was in Legion. But in this one, Ysera can save Tyrande. So nice turnabout. There's just, the lore is so good when it wants to be. It can be so good. And this was a really good example. Probably one of my favorite cinematics I've seen in a long time. So if you watched, thank you for watching. Leave any comments or ideas or theory crafting from this down in the comments below. I would love to have I love deep diving into the lore like this. So I love to have conversations about it, since I don't really know anyone else in real life that plays Warcraft, and I just talk to a camera. But that's going to wrap this one up. It is like 90 degrees American in the apartment right now. I'm wearing a hoodie because I am a messy eater and all my shirts are dirty. Yay. Has nothing to do with this video, does it? It's just really warm. I need to go turn the AC and the fans on. So that's going to wrap this one up. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I'll simply say thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.